YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is the Real Steel Terra. The first Real Steel to be featured on the channel here. And let's dive right in and get some specs. We're looking at 8.4 inches in overall length with a 3.5 inch blade length. The blade thickness is going to be 0.14 inches there. It is a 14C28N blade steel that comes in with a drop point shape, a flat grind, and a nice satin finish as seen here. These are G10 scales, and they are over a stainless steel liner lock. It is situated for right or left hand tip-up carry, and it is made in China. All right, let's get a weight measurement here with our AccuWeight scale. See what it comes in at. It is going to come in at about 4.9 ounces. So a little hefty, just a little chunky, not bad at all, but you know, a little bit. A 3.5 inch blade and a 4.9 ounce weight there. So, you know, just a tad chunky there. But let's get some size comparisons here to give you an idea of the size. Here it is against the Benchmade Griptilian, the full-size Griptilian, the large. And as you can see, the Terra is going to be slightly larger there in terms of overall length and blade length. Here it is against a Spyderco PM2, Paramilitary 2. And again, the Terra is going to be a little bit larger in terms of overall length and blade length there. Let's look at it against how about the Spyderco Shaman? There we go. Now that's a pretty accurate size comparison there. They're going to be just about the same size, with the Real Steel coming in just slightly longer, it looks like there, just by a tip. It is a little bit longer. And let's compare it against a little bit of a smaller knife. How about the Kershaw? Oh, I took the wrong one off the screen. Here we go. This is how you tell it is unedited. But let's look at it against the Kershaw Mini Natrix there. So as you can see, yeah, the Real Steel Terra is a larger knife for sure. It is on the larger side of what I carry personally. You know, because I mean, I like carrying the Natrix, and I like carrying, you know, some smaller knives such as the Dozier here, the K-Bar Dozier. And let's just go ahead and do a size comp there too while we're at it. And it's quite a bit larger than the Dozier as well. So yeah, it's on the larger side of what I carry. You know, it feels a bit longer than just a 3.5 inch blade. You know, it feels a little bit larger than that. You know, I would say this feels more like this feels and operates more as like a 3/4 inch blade, a 3.75 inch blade to me. But you know, it's only 3.5 inches, and you know, it's not monstrous or anything. It's just a little bit larger. But there's nothing wrong with that. I like a little bit larger knives as well. This guy comes in at right around the $55 mark. I got it for $54.80 at Knife Center. So it's a good, really well priced knife there. You know, 14C28N is a decent steel for that price. And well, let's just get into some of the pros and cons here. The first pro of this guy to me is that it's not a flipper. And because so many of these knives that are coming out of China these days, which I'm grateful for because they are really high quality. I mean, China is just putting out some high quality stuff these days. I mean, like the large Honey Badger here in tan, but it is a flipper on bearings. And the Civivi Paraxis here is a flipper on bearings. And so what I'm finding is that there's a lot of flippers on bearings in kind of this budget line, which is not a bad thing. I like flippers on bearings. but it can also just get a little bit monotonous. So I'm glad to see that this is, you know, just your kind of standard opening. You know, you got the deployment hole here, and it's not on bearings. It's just on washers. You can't really see there, but it's on washers. And it's smooth. You know, it flips out there with some authority. You know, it's not gonna, you can't really drop, it doesn't drop shut, but I mean, it deploys smoothly, reliably, every time. And so I like that it's not a flipper, and we already just kind of got into the action on it. I do like the action on it. It is a good action, like I said, to apply smoothly and reliably every time. So it's got a good action on it. I like the wire clip. I love wire clips. I like Spyderco's wire clips whenever they do wire clips. I like those. And I like this wire clip. You could probably you could put a wire clip on pretty much everything for me, and I'd be okay with it. You know, it's weight reduction, it's minimal, it's out of the way. I like wire clips, and this has a nice wire clip. It does loop over there, as you can see, a little bit. You know, it doesn't bury in your pocket like, say, the ZT here, the ZT0562. I mean, that loops up and over. So that's gonna bury in your pocket, nothing's gonna be showing there. You're gonna have just a tiny bit. It doesn't bury quite as deep as the ZT, but that's okay, it buries plenty deep enough for me, in my personal taste, so that's good. The fit and finish on it, there we go. What did I say? Deploys reliably every time, except when I mess up. The fit and finish on it is good. There are, the fit and finish, the ergos, it's all good. There are no hot spots. Here it is in my extra large hand. As you can see, it of course fills it, you know, great hammer grip, saber grip there. I got plenty of room, full forefinger grip there. There are no hot spots. Everything is chamfered and rounded nicely to where nothing causes a hot spot. That wire clip does not cause a hot spot. Even on top of the blade here is nice and rounded. It's got a rounded spine, which helps when you're carrying it in the pocket. You know, because if you're, you know, of course, when you're carrying it right-handed and you know it's in there like that, you know, the blade's out of the way, but, you know, it's always nice to have a rounded spine. It's not going to get in the way. It's not going to, you know, if you're sliding your hand in and out of the pocket or anything, it's not going to make a difference. That's always nice. Everything is well-rounded. It fits in the hand very well. No hot spots. Ergos are good. It feels good in hand. I like the lanyard, where the lanyard hole positioning. It's right there, out of the way. You know, you're not sacrificing clip position for it. Like, say, on the, you know, right here on the PM2, you got this big old lanyard hold and you got the clip right next to it. And, you know, I like when you're going to have a lanyard option that it's integrated into the backspacer, if there is a backspacer. I like that. You know, it's the same way with the Civivi Paraxis here. You can see how it's integrated into the backspacer. You know, and this is done a little bit differently, but, you know, it's still integrated into the backspacer. I like that. It keeps it out of the way, so, and it gives you the option of a lanyard. I don't run a lanyard, but I like there to be the option because I know that people do run lanyards. But I think the best of all worlds is when it's like this, it's out of the way, so that it doesn't really mess with the aesthetics of it at all. It keeps everything flowing real nicely, but the option for a lanyard is there. You know, you just tie one right there and it works. It's perfectly functional. You don't have to have a big hole in the scale like that right there. You know, even though this one does, but that's just kind of part of the design there. But, you know, I like when it's integrated into the backspacer because I think that's the best of all worlds. It gives you a lanyard option, but it's not in the way. You don't sacrifice clip positioning or anything like that. So I really like that a lot. I like the jimping up here on top. It's good jimping. It's not too, you know, not too shallow that it doesn't do anything, but it's not so deep that it's going to grab and kind of hurt. I do like the jimping also here on the lock bar to give easy access. The lock bar is easy to access, which is another positive. I like that. Easy to access, easy to disengage, zero lock stick whatsoever. It was easy to begin with. You see it's just proud there of this cutout. with jimping on it makes it super easy to access, so it's nice. I've already touched on it, but I do like the 14C 28N steel, in my opinion, for a budget folder. Now there are plenty of $40 knives with D2 steel, which is good. I like that steel as well. I like D2. 14C 28N, in my opinion, is probably a little bit better than the 8CR 13 MOV that comes on the Honey Badger. And it's probably, I don't know. To me, it's kind of a wash between that and D2. It's definitely better than like AUS 8. It's a little bit better than 8CR, I think. I think it takes a keener edge, maybe a little bit easier to sharpen from what I've heard. I don't sharpen myself, but from the people that I've talked to who do sharpen, they seem to like 14C 28N on a budget knife because it'll take a nice sharp edge. It's pretty easy to sharpen as well. So like I said, I think it's a step up from 8CR, and it's also definitely a step up from like AUS 8 or steels, kind of in that same category. So the 14C 28N steel I like at this price. Speaking of the price, I like the price. $54.80, like I said, right around the $55 mark. I think you're getting good value on this knife. You're getting a decent steel. You're getting good ergonomics, fit and finish are good, so the price is good as far as I'm concerned. It was sharp out of box. This is a pretty slicey blade. It's pretty slicey. It's got a nice full flat grind on it, and it is ground down to nice slicitude there. It is slicey, and it was sharp out of box, which, is something, it's a knife. It should be sharp out of box, right? Not every company understands that, I think, on every knife, because sometimes they're just not. This one was. It was nice and sharp out of box. I do like the texturing on the G10. It is not overly aggressive. It is not going to tear your pockets up, but it does add to the traction when you're holding it. So to me, that's about perfect, where you add just enough traction to add a little bit extra grip, but it's not so aggressive that it's going to tear up pockets or anything like that. A couple of the drawbacks. It is a little heavy. We kind of touched on that when I weighed it. You're talking about 4.9 ounces for 3.5 inches of blade. So it's a little hefty. They do mill out the liners, which is nice. Let me see if I can, there we go. It's nice that they do go ahead and mill out those liners for you, because without that, it would be really heavy, I think. Then it would be bordering on the too heavy if they didn't mill out those liners. But they did. They milled out those liners, which make it, like I said, it's not terrible. It's not too heavy. It's a little weighty. It's a little weighty. So if that's something that matters to you, just bear that in mind. Something I don't like, and this is just an aesthetic thing, but the skull logo there. It just looks like it was badly printed because it looks stretched. It doesn't look like it really fits. It looks, how you used to put, in like Word, you can put pictures in there and you can stretch them and move them. But if you get to a certain point where you've stretched them too much, they look distorted. That's what that looks like to me. It looks like it got distorted, and it just doesn't quite look right, and I don't like it. Now, luckily it's small and it's kind of out of the way, but I don't know, it just looks stretched and I don't like it. It just doesn't look good to me. I mean, the real steel there, which is, again, kind of small and out of the way, which is good, but it looks perfectly fine. I like that. That's great. That's fine. That, I don't like so much. The deployment, now I said I like this is not a flipper, that's true. But this kind of deployment hole, and it may just be me, but the shape of this deployment hole, it took me a little bit to get the technique down on it. It took a little bit for me to learn where to hold my thumb, where to put pressure in order to kick it out. And every once in a while, I still have a problem with that, as you saw earlier. So it just seems to be a little bit of a learning curve there on the deployment hole. So it's just gonna take you, but it's a pretty good fidget knife, quite honestly. You can open it and close it with one hand easily. So it's a decent fidget knife once you learn how to use that deployment hole. That deployment hole may take, and it may just be me, maybe I'm the idiot, right? That deployment hole may take just a little bit of getting used to. But once you do, like I said, it's a pretty good fidget knife. It's easy to use, and you know, it's just a little thing. This is a little nitpick. That's really all I have. I mean, because it's chamfered nicely. It's not sharp at all. I mean, like I said, the fit and finish on this overall is just really good for what you're getting for 55 bucks. Is really nice. So this is one, just to kind of, in conclusion, this is a knife that I got. And, you know, I was interested in the looks. I had seen it pop up on YouTube a couple of times. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. So I decided to get one and try it out. And I wasn't expecting a ton. You know, I was expecting it to be decent because I had heard that it was decent. And that's about all I was expecting. I was expecting a decent knife. I got it out, and it came in with an order. I had ordered about 4 knives. I think I ordered 4 knives. It came with an order of 4 other knives that I had gotten to bring in to review. I had sold some and had some money, so I bought some more to review for you guys. And I first took it out, and I started playing with it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, that's pretty decent. That's, you know, it's okay. But kind of the more time that I spent with it and the more time that I played with it and got to know it and used it, I got to really, really like this knife. I really like this knife, guys. It's a little big, it's a little chunky. Weight-wise, you know, not feel-wise, not ergonomics-wise, but weight-wise, it's a little chunky. But my goodness, I've just kind of really fallen in love with this knife to the point that I don't want to sell it. I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm just going to stay in the collection because it's just nice. You know, it's just different. It feels good in hand. It fits my hand very well. It's got a nice slicey blade. It comes to a nice point. It's just, it's not going to blow you out of the water. There's nothing super fancy on it. It's not, you know, like I said, it doesn't have bearings. It's not a super steel, nothing like that. It's not going to blow you out of the water. But this is just an excellent work knife. It's just a knife that's going to do what a knife's supposed to do. It's going to cut, and it's going to feel comfortable while you're doing it. And it's just going to work every time that you pull it out of your pocket. And I have just come to really like this knife. It feels robust. It feels like I can do some heavier duty tasks with it. And yet it's got a good enough grind and a nice keen enough edge that I can do some slicing with it. The tip is fine enough that I can do a little bit of fine work with it. This is just a great all-around, do-it-all knife. You know, it's kind of jack of all trades, master of none, I think, which is fine. That makes for a good all-around work knife. And I think that's what this is. I mean, like I said, I enjoy it so much. A lot of times I am buy and selling because I need to get more stuff for the channel. So I buy some stuff, I use it, I play around with it, I get a feel for it, I bring it to you, I present it to you on the channel, and then it's gone. You know, I got to sell it because I got to bring more in. This is one I don't want to sell. This is one I'm going to keep. You know, I'm not going to say it's a permanent part of the permanent collection, but it's darn close. I like it a lot. I don't really see myself selling it in the immediate future. I really like it. This is a good knife. If you have not experienced one of these, go get one. If you like, you know, a little bit larger knives overall. You know, if this is in a comfortable size range for you, go get it and see. For 55 bucks, you don't have a lot to lose. You know, when it comes to the world of knives, $55, because I mean, you can spend, you know, $260 pretty easily. Or even if I had my Sabenza nearby, I would show that to you. You could spend $450. So for 50 bucks, you don't have a lot to lose. And I think you're getting a really, really nice knife. It snuck up on me. And I've come to really, really love this knife. So it's going to stick with me. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this review. If you enjoyed this review, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you hated this review, feel free to give me a thumbs down. It's okay. But go ahead and put your comments down below. Let me know what you liked, what you disliked, if you have any questions, or you just want to say, hey, I just enjoy talking and interacting with you guys. So feel free to leave me comments down there, constructive criticism. All of it is welcome. And whatever you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me and hit that little notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I put out a new video for you. I have a lot of things coming up, some that you've seen today. There is much, much more to come up on the channel. And not just knives, I am working on some gear reviews as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.